It's on?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You can take off your caps. Be more comfortable. Good, my dear cadets, teachers, and the staff of this wonderful school. We are greatly honored to have the visit of Principal Sainik School Bijapur, Group Captain RAJALAKSHMI PRITVIRAJ, and they are the mentor school for us because they have a history more than 6 decades. We're just starting. There is a lot to learn from this great school, Sainik School Bijapur. We heartily welcome you, Group Captain Madam. We are indeed honored and blessed to have you amongst our cadets and teachers. On behalf of the school, may I welcome the chief guest. Where is the bouquet? Yeah.
Chetan?
No, she's an English teacher. Okay, on that wonderful note, we'll start the proceedings of the day. It was programmed at 8:15, but the road conditions and the traffic delayed Madam by about 10 to 15 minutes. How many want to join Indian Air Force? Not many. Then yeah, it's a substantial number. How many want to be fighter pilots? Okay, wonderful. So thrilled that you're so excited to join the Indian Air Force. And I'll just share a small thing. Even I wanted to join Indian Air Force. Very, very tough medicals, extremely tough. Okay. And I passed everything. I went through everything. I passed that pilot aptitude battery test, PABT, I think it must be the same. So I was fit in all conditions, but Air Force said you are medically not fit. So I was rejected. I was quite upset. But anyway, Army said we will manage with you. So that's how I became a brigadier in the Indian Army. It's a fantastic service. Indian Air Force is one of the best in the world today. We have some of the best fighter pilots in the world. Out of a population of about 140 crores, the fighter pilots will be a few hundred. It is that tough. So you can imagine how they have to be chosen. So one of you or some of you would enter into that Indian Air Force dream service. And uniform is always a fantastic thing to wear. I'm already missing the charm and glamour of wearing army uniform. I retired, then I was vice president with a multinational. Even our daughter, she was so keen to join the Indian Air Force, not the Indian Defense Services, but destiny took her to California, so she's working there now. She still has that desire. I want to wear the defense uniform of India. So that is the craze and charm. And all of you are eligible to join these services. Now a brief introduction to our chief guest. Group Captain RAJALAKSHMI PRITVIRAJ was commissioned on 18th June 2005 in the education branch of the Indian Air Force. She is a military educationist, human resource developer, and strategic planning analyst by profession. Her academic qualifications include doctorates, masters, and several certifications from institutions of repute in the field of psychology, education, strategic studies, and allied healthcare. She is a qualified counseling psychologist, positive educational psychologist, human behavior and development analyst, psychotherapist, master life and mindset enabler, communication specialist, learning experience designer, master trainer and artist. She is also a qualified ground instructor. In her professional capacity, she has been instrumental in overseeing capacity building initiatives and continuity training of personnel in Indian Air Force. Students and staff at Air Force schools and Kendriya Vidyalayas, as well as families of air warriors. She has also contributed towards strengthening the mental health capabilities in units and educational institutions through experiential workshops on various topics, including psychological first aid and gender sensitization. With many firsts to her credit, Group Captain RAJALAKSHMI is also the first woman officer from education branch amongst the three services, that is the Army, Navy and Air Force, to undergo the prestigious Staff College course at the Defence Services Staff College, Wellington. It's a very highly competitive selection. They are the officers who command the defence forces at the higher ranks. Her appointments include Senior Education Officer in Premier Bases of Indian Air Force, key staff appointments at an operational command and air headquarters, as well as directing staff at Faculty of Education, Air Force Administrative College, Coimbatore. Prior to her present appointment, she was commanding a premier selection center of the Indian Air Force. Command is a very prestigious thing in defense services. They are like CEOs, what you term them in corporates. They are the heads of organization, directing them towards the goals of the defense services. For her contributions to the Indian Air Force, she has been commended by Chief of the Air Staff and the Vice Chief of the Air Staff. For her contributions towards psychological well-being of Veer Naris and their children, she was conferred with the Veerangana Award by the Art and Rhythm Foundation. A self-proclaimed lifelong learner, her area of knowledge, skills and abilities include strategic studies, professional military education, positive developmental psychology, invisible disabilities, doctrinal precepts, military history, modern warfare, education, mental health, media and communication, instructional design, curriculum design and development, educational technology as well as creative, performing and visual arts. A published author and raconteur, her interests include media analysis, diplomacy, continuity education, reading, writing, book reviews, linguistics, translations and research. It's a very, very vast domain of academic excellence. Married to Squadron Leader V. Manoj, they are blessed with two daughters, Sharanya and Navya. Her life mantra is, listen carefully, her life mantra is, rise like a phoenix. Rise like a phoenix, learn like an owl, work like a tiger, and live like a maverick. A great biodata in the last 20 years of the services in the Indian Air Force. And I was just joking with the madam, Group Captain madam, that our children are very sharp, very bright, and very, having tremendous drive. They will beat Sainik School Bijapur Cadets. Are you willing to beat the Sainik School Bijapur Cadets?
Yes, sir!
Yeah, that says it all. But there is a lot of hard work to go into it. You can beat any school in the country. All you have to do is put in your best with the teachers, with the parents, will make your dreams come true. Thank you very much. Now I welcome our chief guest to address the gathering and share with you her experiences, and also there will be an interaction with the cadets and teachers later separately. May I welcome you, madam, on the stage. Thank you.
It is indeed a pleasure coming here, seeing not just your beautiful campus, but the enthusiasm that you have towards the armed forces. Trust you me, the task is not easy. If you are inspired by movies like Fighter and Uri, then you are wrong. Because our lives are way larger, way bigger than what it is projected generally on the screen. We don't have sudden movie songs, playing in the background or anything like that. I'm sure when you interact with Sir, you will get to know it. As far as the color of the uniform is concerned, it doesn't matter. Whether it is the olive greens, whether it is the naval whites or the Air Force blues, we have only one single aim, that is guarding the sovereignty of our country, whether it is land, air and space, or the maritime domain. And to do that, each day, it is not just a war that is happening in the borders or on the waters or in the air. It is happening right in a small rectangular device that you have in your hands. Okay, how many of you can tell me, or maybe one of you tell me, why do you actually want to join the armed forces? Anybody? I saw a lot of hands, up when Sir asked who wants to join Air Force and who wants to be a fighter pilot. Okay, how many want to join now again Indian Air Force and why? Anybody? Yes?
To serve our nation.
Okay. What else? Okay, someone from the back.
To be in front of our nation.
To be in front of a nation.
Yes.
Okay. So you mean to say that the doctors, the engineers, the educators, the leaders, the chartered accountants, all the other professions do not serve the nation? Anybody? Do they serve the nation or they don't serve the nation? Right? So the bottom line is, everybody who does something constructive in this country is serving the nation. Now what sets us, that is the armed forces, apart is the beauty that lies in our organizations are, there are no reservations. There is only one person who can make you don our uniforms, and that is you yourself. Nobody can make you wear it. Nobody can make you sit through the exam, get through it, sit through the fitness tests or through the SSBs. It is just you and only you. So if you're really keen to join us, this is the time to start focusing on what you want to do in life. No age is small or big. And yes, though we would love to have as many of you from here joining us, actually there's no competition, honestly speaking. You don't need to compete with Bijapur or you don't need to compete with any of the other Sainik schools. There's only one person you need to compete with, that is yourself. As long as you are able to get through with your potentials, your capabilities, your talents, trust you me, nobody can defeat you or bring you down. Your capabilities are what matters. There are a lot of distractions that you have. You are Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? So your language also becomes, the vibe around is not good or it is okay, average. Don't be in a delulu. Words like that, which generally we, maybe baby boomers and millennials and X, we find it a bit strange. But you are digital natives. And because of that, I'm sure at times you may be finding that the environment in the school which does not allow you to have direct access to your digital devices, it can be very painful. But trust you me, what is being done is for your betterment. The school is not only preparing you to appear for various examinations that can enable you to join the armed forces, but most importantly, it is preparing you for the mother of all exams, which doesn't have a question paper, which doesn't have a sample paper, which doesn't have any model answers. Which one is that? SSB? No, think big. What can it be? Which is this mother of all examination? Medicals? No. Medicals, if you eat healthy, if you eat organic, if you leave behind your pizza, burgers and noodles that are made out of, refined flour, and you eat something which is very healthy, all the veggies and stuff, I think you can easily get through it. Stay away from gadgets to save your eyes. It's very easy. What is it? Yes?
Asking ourselves what we can do.
Okay, asking yourself what you can do. You think that is the mother of all exams? Sit. A part of it, yes, but that is also part of something bigger. Anybody?
Life.
Absolutely. Can you give him a clap? Because that is the actual exam. Right? You do not know where it is going to take you, what it is going to take. Turns, which way? To cite Robert Frost, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Never in my dream in my school, when I was a student like you, did think that I would be joining the Indian Air Force. But then life, because nobody in my family, or forget family, nobody around me donned the blues. Neither did we have access to digital technology like you have now. But life took me on a different road. So similarly, you do not know what life has in store for you. So as I said, it is better to sweat in peace than bleed in war. If you think that war is only happening at the borders, let me give you a small brief. Okay. When we were young, you can ask all who are seated here in the front row. When we were young, the advertisements that we used to get to see was maybe Sunday hoya Monday, Roj khao Monday, or it used to be a health drink. But now, what are the ads that you see, whether it is your YouTube or whether it is even your digital content? It is either a gutka or a pan masala, or it is some beauty product that will either make you beautiful, taller, fairer, thinner, or dresses or clothes that will make you look that you are the vibe kind of a thing. We didn't have that. Each and every element that you are seeing is promoting just one thing. A feeling of inferiority, that you are not enough as you are. Lucky you are in a school, you are in an environment where there is only one person who is celebrated exactly the way you are, and that is you yourself. The best part is whether you are a male, whether you are a female, there is no difference when it comes to opportunities as far as the armed forces are concerned. So in life, if we think of a place where there is cerebral equality, where there is equality of opportunities, trust you me, there is no other better place than the world of the olive greens, the Air Force blues and the naval whites. I know you have a lot of questions in your hand, so I will not go on and on. I think I would rather take it from you, what all you want to ask, whether it is about joining the Air Force, whether it is about any question that you have, please feel free. Yes, you can start asking. I was told that you have a lot of questions. Huh? Anybody?
Then ma'am, Cadet Tanai, who encouraged to join Air Force?
Who encouraged me to join Indian Air Force?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Honestly, an advertisement in the employment news encouraged me to apply in the first place. See, like I said, I didn't have any background. As far as the Air Force is concerned, nobody in my family was in the defense services. And I was born and brought up in a state where we didn't see uniforms around us other than that of BSF, CRPF and ITBP and CISF to some extent. That is the state of Odisha back then in the early 80s and 90s. So and in those days, we did not even have access to digital media. So trust you me, I joined very late. I finished my post-graduation and that was when I started wanting to do something very different, and that was the first time I saw this advertisement where the Indian Air Force wanted candidates who were postgraduates for the education branch. So that is how I applied and never expected that I would get through, because I had always heard that getting into the defense was very, very difficult. There used to be a myth when I was young, especially if you want to join Indian Air Force, you have to have science background. Only then can you join, otherwise it is not possible. And anybody who joins into the Indian Air Force is always a pilot or a fighter pilot, that's it. That was a misnomer. But it was when I went for my SSB, that is when I realized that there are so many other branches. And when I saw that advertisement, that actually cleared my mind. So there was a sense of regret. I could have applied 2 years earlier. I was 2 years late. But as they say, better late than never. So since the day that I donned the uniform, it is like my second skin. So that advertisement made me apply, and like I said, life took me on a very, very different journey. And here I am, 21 years down the lane. Okay, any other question? Yes. Okay, so during my time, the exam that we had was, we were directly called to the SSB based on marks that we had in our entire educational career. Right now, what the process is, that first option is through the NDA, right, which you write in class 12. You get two opportunities. One is the first exam tentatively happens in the month of September every year. The second exam always happens in the month of April. So when you go to class 12, that will be one entry. Now suppose you are not able to hack it there, right? Maybe you are not able to get through the written exam, or you are not able to say, let's say, get through the SSB. Don't lose hope, because the entries into the Indian Air Force are right from class 12th onwards to post-graduation, like I said. So once you do not clear for NDA, finish your graduation, and then there are two sets of exams. If you have a science background, then you can take up the CDS exam that again UPSC conducts, or second is Air Force Common Admission Test that the Indian Air Force conducts. It is conducted twice a year. For both of these, you need to have minimum of graduation. Now suppose if since Sainik schools and the Sainik school verticals generally offer you science stream, suppose once you leave the school you want to get into humanities or commerce, then also it's absolutely fine. Finish your graduation, apply for the Air Force Common Admission Test, that is one way. And if you want to do your post-graduation and come, then more than welcome, finish that in whichever stream that you have studied in, and that is also possible. So during my time, like I said, we didn't have the Air Force Common Admission Test. It has started recently. That is the exam that you can give right now. In addition, if you have NCC, nothing like it, because those A, B and C certificates matter a lot. So even in school, please take your NCC very, very seriously, the exams also very seriously, because that will add on to your skills, that will add on to your CVs. In addition, what happens, especially for the Air Force, I'll tell you what happens in the Air Force. Once you appear for the written examination and once you clear that written examination, thereafter, if you make the cut, that is, if you get the qualifying marks, you will be called for the AFSB, that is Air Force Selection Boards. Now they are in different places in the country. Gandhinagar, then you have Dehradun, then you have Mysore, so on and so forth. Now once you are called there, the first day will be a test that assesses whether you have the intelligence quotient required through a reasoning test which is conducted over there. That is a screening test. Once you, if you do not qualify that, you are immediately sent back. Second is a picture perception and discussion test. Again, you are shown a picture. You are supposed to write what you saw in that, your perception about it, and then there's a discussion. Again, if you clear it, then you continue to stay there for next 4 days. During those 4 days, you are tested in every possible way. That is on 3 verticals: Manasa, Karma and Vacha. That means what you think, how you act, and whatever you speak. All these 3 things are judged. Now, if you think that, just before the SSBs or just before the NDA you can prepare yourself and go there, then you will not be able to make it. Because right from now, if you start focusing on your thoughts, if you start focusing on your actions, on your behavior, if you start focusing on grooming yourself, trust you me, any SSBs you can clear, whether it is Army, Navy or Air Force. For the simple reason being, feed your brain with those books, those articles which are worthy of your time. Spend less time scrolling reels of 30 seconds which have a detrimental effect on your brain, because it reduces your capability to be attentive. Attention span becomes lesser and lesser if you go for shorter content. So read as much as you can, write as much as you can, because the more you express, the easier it is. And whatever physical activities your school is going to provide you with, please do that diligently, because that is what will build up your stamina. And it is stamina, mental and physical, which is going to be tested when you go for your SSBs. Okay, anything else?
Ma'am, as you told that when you did post-graduation, that time you got to know about the advertisement. But nowadays there are many opportunities for us to join the defense services. But that time was it hard for you to join us? Nowadays we have opportunities for women, but that time it would have been less and about a society that supported you.
Okay. See, as far as opportunity was concerned, well, I mean, the beauty of my service is, like I said, there is no male or female. It is, if as an individual there is a task, if you are able to hack it, well and good, you are in. Otherwise, you are out. That is as simple as that. So, was it difficult for me, for a person who's never been into any physical activity other than maybe, dance for 4 hours early in the morning? That was the only exercise I used to do throughout my life. So yes, initially it was not easy, but when there is determination and when you have your own, course mates to pep you up, it is very easy to get through. So, like I said, that those days there was no awareness. So obviously there are certain aspects which we generally tend to neglect, right? If you do not know what you are preparing for. So in my case, that was one of my initial weak area, but obviously once the training begins, then it becomes very, very comfortable. As far as you are concerned, see, you are already getting the opportunity here. So please make use of it, because that will help you build your stamina, right? If you are not able to run even 1.6 kilometers in 7 to 8 minutes, that means in your age you are being extremely weak. So build your stamina, whether it is male or female, because unlike us or unlike our grandparents who used to have a more healthier version of food, the kind of food that you feed your body is very, very different. I'm sure if you are given a choice, lauki ka sabji versus Hakka noodles, what would you prefer? Very few, okay, very few will actually prefer that. Not everybody will बोलने के लिए है कि लौकी का सब्जी, but the first choice will always be Hakka noodles. That's more tastier and much better, no? But it harms your body like anything. So, luckily you are in an establishment that decides what you are supposed to feed your body. So please do not hate what is being given to you. Be very, very grateful for the food that you get, because the team that is sitting here in the front row and those at the back, they are the ones who are actually ensuring that when you reach 12th, you are not only fit to appear for any of the competitive exams, you are also fit to appear for the mother of all exams. So, as I said, build your stamina, build your mental strength, your resilience. That is where the difference comes. Why some get selected in the SSBs or some do not clear the SSBs at the first go. If there is a dichotomy between Manasa, Karma and Vacha, that is where you are eliminated in the first place, because all three services have certain requirements that are extremely crucial for each service. So depending on which service you are appearing for, build up and start preparing. When you reach 9th, I think the senior most class is class 9th. You still have 3 more years to go, plus the one that you are already in. So right now is the time when you start focusing on what you want to do, what you want to achieve in life, and I'm sure you will get through. Okay, what else?
Jai ma'am, Cadet Adnya. Ma'am, I want to ask you that you joined Air Force, but why not other two forces?
Okay, thank you so much. Why I joined Air Force and why not other forces? See, that was the first advertisement I saw. Okay, now you know, on a lighter side, when you start searching for jobs, no, only then you start opening something called employment news. Okay. So the day I opened the employment news, the first advertisement was for Indian Air Force. So that is how I applied for it. The SSB was immediately a month later. I got through it. Then was the most difficult exam, which was the medicals. As sir said, Air Force medicals are very, very tough. Okay. And I was underweight, severely underweight. So you can imagine how many bananas and stuff I have eaten to put on weight, because the medicals were after 2 months. As luck would have it, I cleared that. So when I cleared both, and again within from the date of medicals, within 2 weeks I got the merit list and I was told that you are welcome to Air Force Academy. So when I had got through my first attempt, that is the reason why I didn't opt for naval whites or olive greens. But I did meet my postmates years later in a place called Wellington. It's called the Staff College or the Staff Course, a very, very difficult course, where I was quantity 1 female, 465 male, okay, all instructors male, 250 approx, 1 female from the Air Force, okay. But the best part, never did I feel that I was outsider or alone or anything like that, because that was the kind of camaraderie that was developed, where even the olive greens and the naval whites welcomed me into their clan. By the way, do you know when Army, Navy and Air Force gets together, they are identified by one color. What is that? It is known as jointmanship or jointness. They are identified by one color. Any guess what color that is? Wild guess? Okay, I'll tell you. It is the color purple. In reality, you take Air Force blue, you take the olive green, the color palette, and you take the naval white and mix them. The color you get is purple. So that is the color when all the 3 services join together. Trust you me, there's no difference between the 3 of us. other than the color of a uniform, and a bit of aberration here and there when it comes to a workplace. The thought process, the mentality, the grooming, everything is same. Why? Because there is no caste, creed, language, religion that distinguishes us. There is no male, female that distinguishes us. There is no North Indian, South Indian divide that exists. There is no quota system, nothing. When it comes to any task, anything, all three equally capable. Depending on the domain that is assigned, the task is carried out. So there's no difference per se. So if you want to join the Navy or the Army, please be my guest. Because the bottom line is, the school is preparing you to don or to rather change from the uniform that you are wearing to another uniform which only select few can wear. By the way, I hope you know that the olive greens, naval whites and the Air Force blues, if it is worn by anybody who is not authorized to wear it, can easily be jailed. Nobody else is allowed to wear the uniform unless and until you are permitted to do so. So even those actors whom you've seen wearing our uniforms in the movies, they have been given special clearance from the government of India, and that is how they have been permitted to wear the uniforms on screen. Otherwise, it is only us who have gone through the rigmarole and who have gone through the training, who are officially commissioned into the three services, who are allowed to wear the uniform, the color that we have been assigned. So any color, it doesn't matter. The color of the uniform doesn't matter, but your motivation, your desire to join, that is what is more important. Okay, what else? Only the girls are asking me question. Is it a gender bias? That only the girls are asking. The boys have no questions. Okay.
Jai ma'am, myself Cadet Rashmi. How was your experience through your life journey?
Okay, sir. My experience as a woman in blue initially and then a military educationist, purple because of the staff course, has been very, very checkered, very, very interesting. I've never had to repeat the tasks that I were assigned from one posting to another. Each day has been very different. And like I said, my life mantra has derived out of the experiences that I have had in the blues, for the simple reason being, whenever you face a crisis, whether it is personal, whether it is professional, always be a phoenix. What is the speciality of a phoenix? Anybody? Anybody? Wild guess. What does a phoenix do? Phoenix is a bird. When it is burnt, it rises from its ashes. That means, if you are capable of handling success, please be capable of handling your failures as well and rise from it, learn from it. Right? Never ever let that child in you vanish. Always be young at heart. For the simple reason being, a child is always very, very curious. And that is where you can learn. Like the wise owl. Owl is basically an acronym, which is one willing learner, that is given to us who finish our staff course. So be a willing learner throughout your life. Trust you me, you can learn from a 2-year-old. You can learn if you think that the Group D who are there in your school can't teach you anything. Sorry, you are mistaken. You can learn from them also. There are so many things that you can learn. Work like a tiger, because tiger is very, very careful, assesses what he or she is supposed to deal with and then makes a move. And finally, live your life like a maverick. Who's a maverick? Who's a maverick? टॉम क्रूज का मूवी देखे हैं? Yes ma'am. अब बताओ, who's a maverick? What does that word mean? Anybody? Okay? A maverick is a person who stands for three of the most important qualities that is looked for in the armed forces, all the three services, which is honesty, integrity and loyalty. Without these three, there is nothing. You cannot be half honest, half dishonest. You cannot have integrity in front of people and no integrity behind the back. You cannot be loyal to one and disloyal to another. That is not how it works. So these are the three qualities that a maverick displays and does exactly that for his or her country. So as far as my journey goes, very, very interesting. I'm still learning. And the best part is I'm here, so I am going to learn from you all also. The way you ask questions, very interesting. And as they say, every stage is a learning stage. So till date, every posting has been different, whether it is operations, whether it is in instructional capabilities, whether it is interacting with young minds, vibrant minds like you. So life has been good, very, very good, and interesting and different. Yes, what else?
Jai ma'am, I Cadet Vaishnavi. Which was the interesting operation which you did it?
Okay. If I have to declassify what I did, my request, please don the blues and come. Because there are a lot of things which we cannot declassify and tell you, right? Because the field that I specifically work in is something okay. One thing that we do, which generally all education officers do, is to change the way people think, to change the way people perceive, to change the way people analyze a situation. And we start with children, right? And on the other hand, our second task, which can be declassified or told to people, is we strengthen the minds, increase resilience, and ensure strength of willpower as far as any combat situation is concerned for anybody who goes into combat. So that means if I have to share a particular sense of particular operation, okay, I will not be able to, so sorry, I will not be able to declassify that, right? But I will definitely tell you, yes, down the lane, when you wear the blues and come, I will definitely tell you that. Other than that, I'm sure if you look at Air Force per se, there are so many operations that the Indian Air Force does. It is already there in the World Wide Web. It is also there on our official handles, whether it is YouTube or whether it is our social media handles or whether it is our website. In fact, the same goes for Army and Navy also, correct? A lot of things we do. In fact, all the things right now is done in tandem amongst all the three services because the warfare is such that we cannot do it alone. Earlier, we knew exactly who the enemy was, but presently, certain times, certain situations, you don't even get to know who your enemy is because sometimes the enemy is hiding behind as small a device as a phone, as small a drone as the size of an Anopheles mosquito, right? As secretive as one IP address that is masked by a VPN. So the warfare or the art of war has changed completely. The domain has changed. So not one force can work in isolation. It is all the three. Personally, like I said, what I do, it is very, very difficult for me to declassify and tell you, right? As they popularly say, no, in the armed forces, if I have to tell you, I have to kill you. So I can't do that. But yes, trust you me when I say life is very, very interesting, very exciting, and there's no gender in it. Whether it is Army, Navy, Air Force, it's amazing, very interesting. Otherwise, I can share what is again declassified, what my postmates have done, a few of them. I'm sure you have a few interesting things. Okay, you celebrate Vijay Diwas, right? Okay. So what are the what are the names or or the code name that the army gave to which operation, navy gave to which operation, and air force gave to which operation? Anybody? कारगिल दिवस सेलिब्रेट करते हो तो हाँ मतलब
And the army gave as Operation Vijay and the Air Force gave at Operation Meghdut.
Are you sure?
Not exactly sure, but I can tell you that if army gave it at Operation Vijay.
Because that is what, okay, that is what is there in social media, a lot of it. The operation that Indian Army carried out was codenamed Op Vijay. Operation that Indian Air Force carried out during 1999 was codenamed Op Safed Sagar. The operation that Indian Navy carried out in 1999, Navy also had its operations at that point of time. It's called Op Talwar, right? So all three services were still active, even though the entire event happened up north in the hills. But even Navy had a very, very important role to play as far as Kargil war goes. The beauty, now I'll tell you two stories from Kargil per se. Okay, first one, the Prime Minister of our adversary in the West was very, very fond of two female actors of India. Okay, one was Madhuri Dixit and another one was Ravina Tandon. Correct. So now, if you had to choose between, the joke was that they had told the Indian side, if you want it to end, please send both of them and make them Pakistani citizens, and then we will stop it. That was a lighter note. So then what did the Indian Air Force do? The beauty at that point of time was the platforms that were used. Okay, that platform was Mirage 2000, the final lethal platform that came into action. Which country gave it to us? Mirage. Sure. Mirage is not Russia. Find out and tell sir, okay? Mirage is not Russia. So, the combination was, the bomb was Indian, right? The pilot was Indian. The pod from which the bomb was supposed to be sent out was Israeli. The laser which was supposed to be used was French. Now with all these combinations, you know, Indians are very good at one single thing, which is jugaad. Okay. So to make sure that the bomb works, the bomb was customized for the Mirages and it was prepped. The beauty was, in the bomb it was written to the Prime Minister to Nawaz Sharif from Ravina Tandon. Okay, so that is what was written on the bomb. The second very interesting incident is when it came to light and when the Indian Air Force got to know about it. So the chief decided to visit Srinagar. But a chief going means it's a news. So to make sure that nobody knows, the chief says so, detabbed, not just the chief, took his ranks out, these are called collar dogs, okay. So the collar dogs of the chief were also taken out. He went to his postman, took the ranks of the wing commander, made the chief wear that, and then they went to Srinagar. That was the first base where all the action had started happening. And the beauty was, when the aerial attack on Tiger Hill was happening, there were 3 aircraft that were launched, and the 3rd aircraft had the air chief himself flying it. Generally, sir.
That's fantastic. In fact, most of us also not aware of.
Sir, this was recently declassified, and there is a movie, sir. I mean, it's rather a docu-series which is there in Amazon Prime, sir. It's called Kargil 1999 from the Indian Air Force point of view. So the entire air stories of the Air Force point of view and all those stories are there. Another very interesting thing from the army side. Do you know Assam Rifle has a very beautiful song dedicated to somebody called Badlu Ram? पता है कहानी? The lyrics go कि बदलू राम का राशन के नहीं क्या बदलू राम का बदन जमीन के नीचे है पर हम उसका राशन खाते हैं. It's a very, very beautiful song and it has a very deep significance. Okay, if you don't know, then you will again, what we say in the armed forces, you will find out and you will narrate it to serve. Because these are very interesting stories that you have from the armed forces. Okay, now why do we salute? Why does the armed forces salute? Anybody? We have a salute, no? We salute. And all three have a different way of saluting. Why? Anybody can tell me why do, first tell me why do we have different ways of salute? It's not the same in all the three services. Huh, batao.
Because to show the significance of armed forces.
No, not necessarily. No, we are three human beings. We can salute the same way. What is so special? Sir, anybody else? Try. Why does the army salute the way it does? Why does the navy salute the way it does? Why does the air force salute the way it does? Okay, try.
Maybe because this signifies land, this signifies a flying aircraft, and this the water.
Sure. Okay, sit. See, the very reason the salutes are different are when the army salutes, the palm is always facing the front. It signifies that there is no weapon in the hand of the person who is saluting. Okay? The way the navy salutes, generally, what happens when the naval sailors are on board of a ship, their hands get greasy. So obviously their palm will be dirty. So even when a superior comes, they are not supposed to reveal a dirty palm. So that is why their salute is made that way. As far as the Air Force is concerned, we are meant to be the guardians of the sky and the space. So the way we salute, even at that point of time, in that angle, we are able to visualize what is happening over. So it makes it very easy for our eye to focus. If by chance there is some deviation, something in the air, it becomes very easy for us to identify. So that is why these three reasons, why our salutes are different and what it means. Now, why do we salute in the first place? क्यों करते हैं? Anybody? Okay?
To give respect.
Okay, to give respect to whom? To whom? Whom do we give respect? To the nation. But you are saluting someone in front of you, no? You are nearly there, but what is it? Anybody? When we salute our superior, we not only give him or her the respect, but we also respect the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces, which is the Honorable President of India, who has conferred us that huge responsibility. So, the beauty of a salute is that if you are saluting, it has to be reciprocated. Just like the two words, that is Jai Hind, right? Now there's a story, okay? Heard of Field Marshal Sam Bahadur Manekshaw?
Yes, sir.
Heard of him?
Yes, sir.
There's a movie also, right?
Yes, sir.
Seen the movie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is one scene where, or in reality this has happened, where he went to a particular place, he found a young officer having given a punishment to the person, to a subordinate, for the simple reason that the subordinate had not saluted him when he had passed. As the rule says that you are supposed to salute your superior. So though the salute was being given, it was not being reciprocated. So that is when the Field Marshal pitched in and he said that the beauty of a salute is that you cannot just take it one way. It always has to be a two-way action. So then the punishment got converted and it was the one, the subordinate was supposed to be saluting, kept saluting, and the one who gave, so supposedly gave the punishment also had to salute. It was I think 1,000 times or something like that. So when you look into our history, why we say Indians are very poor custodians of history? Because there are so many things that we do not know, we are not aware of. If you look into the history, you will realize there are so many beautiful stories that are there. Okay, when did Meghdut happen? Anybody? And where did it happen? Somebody mentioned Meghdut. Okay, forget all this. Who was the first person or the first person in uniform to be awarded the Paramveer Chakra? The first one. Which war? 1946-47. It started at that point. No, sorry, 47-48. It started there, the first war. So from there till date, how many PVCs do we have? Why? We are celebrating almost so many years of independence, right? Why only so little? What does it take to be a PVC? Do you know their stories, all the 22? If not, there is a website called Gallantry Awards. Please visit that. You'll find the stories of not just the Paramveer Chakra awardees, you'll find all the stories of Mahavir Chakras and Veer Chakras posted there. This is something that you as young ones should know. Freedom is not free. Freedom that has come at a cost. Right? The air that you breathe in, or all of us rather, the air that we breathe in, the ground that we stand on, and the freedom that we enjoy has been given by those who lived much, much before us. I hope you know that your school is also named after somebody very, very important for the country. Yes, correct? You know his story? Yes, ma'am. Gone to his house? No, ma'am. Then go, right? Go, see, because that is when you will realize the amount of love, hope, and confidence that those leaders had, so much so that they were willing to give up their lives to ensure a safe and secure environment for future generations. Okay, any other question? नहीं कहानी बहुत हो गया हाँ okay
Ma'am, my friend Gojiri, ma'am, I have a question. Ever you thought of giving up, or ever you thought of it's very harsh, so I shouldn't do it?
okay see, life is not easy. There were two occasions that I felt that probably I'm done. First was initially when I'd gone to the academy and the physicals, not my cup of tea. I thought, bhaiya, ho gaya. But then, the beauty of the armed forces is you are surrounded by people who make sure that they pep you up. That is the bonhomie. So that was my first and important stage where, the first place where I was thinking I will give it up because physically I was an ectomorphic physique. So that was one. But the most important one happened when I was down 6 years in service and my elder daughter was 4.5. I was carrying my second daughter, 5 months, and that is when I get a news that my husband, a helicopter pilot in the Indian Air Force, had a mid-air collision, right? 15 days was the only time that I took leave, and then on the 16th day I was back in the office because by then, even though the situation was such that anybody can break down, anybody can wince, cry, give up. But the beauty of this blues and the blue family that I had made me so resilient that even if I wanted to give up, it was like that Amazon Prime or Amazon mein hota na, aur dikhao. So similarly, that was the time when life had said कि अब बस तुम्हारा picture खत्म, the grand sale is over, and that is when I started talking to its 8 saying और दिखाओ picture अभी बाकी है, this is only trailer. So the beauty of us in the services are whether it is personal life or professional life, we are able to divide it, keep it separate. And the amount of resilience and emotional intelligence that we have is very, very high as compared to anybody else. So even if we want to give up at any point of time, there is one small little thing that is there deep within us. In fact, it is there within everybody. Each one of you also has it. That one small voice, the voice of hope which tells you, please go on, thoda aur. Because the moment you have reached that stage, it means your victory is there in the next step. You give up there, you are done and dusted, you have lost the grand prize. But if you push yourself, you definitely get it. So that is why you will never find any armed forces personnel giving up at any point of time. Never. Yes. What else? Okay. Have I ever gone through any war situation? Yes. I got commissioned in 2005, so there were a lot of operations that happened, right? Whether it was when we talk of Pathankot attack, or there are so many other things that have happened, no? So I have been there, but that's like asking the same question in a very different manner. I cannot declassify what exactly I have done. So to know what exactly I have done, you will have to don the blues and join my service. Okay. This is the kind of trick questions you will get in your SSBs. Okay, there is a test called situation reaction test. So you will get something very similar. Same situation given in 2 different formats to see if you are able to identify and give the same answer. Okay, what else?
Ma'am, I correct Arohi. Ma'am, what was your aim in your childhood? Was it becoming an army officer or anything else?
Okay, so you know, when I was a kid and in 8th we had a session in school where we were asked what do you want to become when you grow up. Like I said, we didn't have any exposure to the defense services or the defense forces, and I was never ever interested in science. So I had thought कि possible नहीं है, won't be able to make it. So the only aim that I had was what my parents had instilled in me, that when you grow up, please do something good. Don't be an anti-national element. Do something for your society. Do something constructive for your country. Whatever you do, even if you are in a small place, even if you are a teacher, be the best teacher. If you are intending to be a civil services officer, be the best one. Whichever profession you choose, be the best. Because the best means not competing with others, best as far as your capabilities go. So at that point of time, I was not very sure of what exactly I wanted to do, but I wanted to study human behavior. I wanted to analyze human behavior, why people think the way they think, what they do. So that is what drew me to a subject called psychology. That is where I not only did my graduation and post-graduation, it was after my post-graduation and my doctorate that I got into the armed forces. So I feel that it does not matter your career choices. Trust you me, the age that you are in and generation that you are in, you will have at least 4 to 5 professional lifestyle that throughout your life that you will come across. So it doesn't matter what you choose, what profession you do, what uniform you don, or what profession you choose, because 100 years down the line, people will not remember the clothes you wore, the designer shoes you had in your custody, the cars you drove, or the houses you lived in. What people will remember you is whether you were a good human being and a good professional. It is not necessary that all good professionals are good human beings, but the deadliest and the most required combination is being a good human as well as a good professional. So if you have that combination, I'm sure you can do wonders wherever you are. Okay, what else? Anyway.
Permit,
Sir.
even the teachers can ask.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please feel free, ma'ams and sirs. Is it because, okay, no, I see only the girls asking me questions. Is it because you boys have fully understood? If yes, then I will start asking you questions about the 3 services to see if you've been attentive. Okay, who wanted to ask? Ask.
Ma'am, I would like to ask that how were you feeling while giving interview, and what are the instructions you would like to tell us while our interview?
Okay, which interview? I mean, the one that now?
Yes, ma'am.
This?
Any interview,
Okay. See, my only advice to you, especially if by the time you reach your SSB, don't change, don't fabricate, because if you think that you're projecting yourself to be somebody you are not and nobody notices it, there are very different agencies who keep monitoring and it is very evident. So, in interviews, the easiest is, if you know the answer, say it. Don't bluff. If you don't know, it is okay. Not everybody is perfect. Not everybody needs to know 100% of anything. If you don't know, you can immediately say, my apologies, I am not aware. Right? But do not tell a story, because the person in front of you who's asking you questions is way more seasoned, way more experienced, and already knows the answer to the question that he or she is asking you. So the best is, when you write your biodata for the SSBs, please be very careful what you are writing, because the questions start from there. Sometimes the questions will be such that it will make you feel angry, it will make you want to cry. During the interviews, there will be a lot of pressure that will be put onto you. The real test is, if your emotions are under check, under control, and even in that so-called stressful situation, you are able to have a very pleasant demeanor and sail through it, a very calm and composed answer. Trust you me, you will make it. Right? The very reason that the pressure is put onto you is in that situation to make you feel that there would be times, especially, I'm sure sir will vouch for it, if you don the olive greens or any of our services for that matter, but most importantly the olive greens, you are going to lead a team to an operation from which you may not come back. Correct? You have to motivate them. If you yourself are not motivated, if your face expresses stress, trust you me, your team will not work. And at that point of time, you will not have PowerPoint presentations to give. It is only your voice, it is only the way you speak, it is only the way you express that will be visible, your body language. So even in the interviews, especially SSBs, such scenarios are simulated to check, do you have it in you to lead your men and women to get into doing actions which are required for the country, but it may lead to a cost of life. So if you are able to do that, then nothing like it. So that is why when you go for interviews, know what you are speaking. Be very, very mindful of what you are speaking, mindful of what you have written down in your biodata, because that is the base from where it starts, and how you answer. If you start narrating stories in terms of, not telling what exactly is asked, trust you me, you will be grilled and taken to a point wherein which you will feel like giving up. So don't ever get into that pressure. Like I said, you have time. This is the stage from where you can build yourself up, make your manasa, karma and vacha strong. You have time, because just before SSB, if you think that going for coaching and getting groomed by mentors is going to change your personality, it is not going to change. It is not going to change your subconscious behavior. It is not going to change your thoughts. And in the spur of the moment, you will end up speaking what you actually feel, rather than what you have decided you want to speak. So that is why it is very, very important that you groom yourself from this age itself. Okay, what else?
All our teachers are very young. You don't have, most of you can get commissioned. I think many of you are very young also. Yeah, I want some staff to ask a question. Yes, that's fantastic. Right? Then teacher. Manjit is there? Yeah.
Jan sir. Okay, sir. You know the beauty of an educator. Thank you so much. Please be seated. You know, being a doctor, they say it's a very, very noble profession. Correct? Our lives as armed forces personnel are action filled, very challenging, very adventurous. But the mother of all professions is the educators. You are the ones who shape the future engineers, armed forces officers, all the professions that are there. You are the ones who create. So, the responsibility that is there on you makes it even more difficult. Why? Because the ones who are sitting behind you, sir, they will not listen to us in the uniform. They will listen to you. Right from class 6 to 12, they are under your care. So the way you think, the way you act, the way you speak, oh, they will exactly copy that. I am sure you are aware that, or if you try to recollect your past when you were kids, it was not the parents we listened to, it was our teachers we listened to. Similarly, it is what you do, say and act or think, that is what they are going to emulate. So if you are convinced about something, then definitely they will. How does it make our lives as educators difficult? Because we are also human beings, we also have a life, a personal side. If we take our emotions to the classroom, trust you me, the response that you're going to get on that day from that class is going to be very, very similar to what you have undergone. Because that is the environment which will be created. So you literally have to be superhumans as far as these cadets are concerned. If you don't have to speak, if through your actions, simple things, sir. If it is, let's say, if it is a class, you are there exactly on time. For example, if there is some community activity and you have been assigned a duty and you are there on time or maybe 5 minutes before, oh, these cadets have observed that. And if they like you, they will also do the same. So what have you done? You have instilled a sense of punctuality. Now, when the way you teach, their attention span is not more than 18 minutes, honestly speaking. So, if your way of teaching has got a lot of different teaching training aids, trust you me, none of them will bunk your class. Everybody will be sitting. Bunking means it is not being absent. It is being physically present, mentally absent somewhere. So, if your classes are interesting, none of them will be physically absent or mentally absent at any point of time. And then, of course, the way you speak will decide whether you mean it, whether you have empathy for them, whether you have concern for them. That is very, very evident in the way we speak, in the way we express. If they are able to catch on to that, if they know that what you are telling them to do, how you are telling them to do is basically for their benefit, trust you me, they will do anything. The beauty of Gen Z and Gen Alpha as a generation is they don't take orders. They will have a lot of questions. So gone are the days, like I'm sure if you recollect your or our generation, whenever we were asked to do something, we quietly did that. We never questioned our teachers, we never questioned, but these children will. So instead of giving an ambiguous order, if you give them one with clarity, they will, if you want one volunteer, you will find 10 or 15 of them. So that is the start point wherein which you as an example or you yourself are a working example of a good citizen. If you are able to project that, you've done your job. Trust you me, all of them will follow. Like we had the pied piper of Hamlet. One goes and all the children follow. That is the beauty of a teacher. What a teacher says and does, children follow. It is not us. Like in Sainik school, we are 3 of us who are from the armed forces. Rest of the teaching team and the administrative team are permanent. So that is why, especially in Bijapur, it is the teachers who have a very, very crucial role more than us 3. Because I have a strong team of administration staff as well as my academic staff. Are we three in the armed forces able to concentrate on the higher level of things like increasing the resilience or the EQ of cadets, things like that, or getting things done for them? But if the academic staff doesn't support, it becomes very, very difficult, because for a setup like this, you are not only being a figure of inspiration, you are also a figure, because this is a residential school, a figure where they will turn to when they are upset. If they do not open up in front of you, then there is something very, very wrong. So the starting point is you yourself, sir. I mean, that is where it is. Okay, anything else?
Madam, I want one lady to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, we are a residential school. Our children are with us all the time. But if we go outside the school, the world is moving technologically forward every day.
Absolutely.
What is something that we can do, that is something you are doing, which keeps our children in line with the outer world of the school?
Okay. The best part is, ma'am, being a residential school, you have your children with you 24/7, as you said. Now, how do you bring them at par with the city street or the changes that are happening outside? A few, like, gone are the days where it was only the core subjects that is very important, right? It is no longer, I trust you, ma'am, I'm sure you will also appreciate the matrices or trigonometry that we've learned as kids, we are not using it in our daily lives, correct? So similar may happen when these children grow up, or the Shakespearean language that we went, or the poetry that we, studied, not being used in our daily life. So there are a few areas which actually requires a lot of attention in the present context. One is digital citizenship. Second is financial literacy. If you think these children are not able to understand, they have that brilliant mind. Third is concepts of design thinking and coding. Those who have an aptitude, they should be made to do that. Most important is developing a sense of empathy. Now, how do we do it in our school? There are, like in the beginning of, we've started it with the help of skill subject that has come in with CBSE. You can start choosing the skill subject that you feel would be more conducive to your school, your environment, and do that. Like, for example, we have taken up digital literacy, financial literacy, we've taken up design thinking, coding. Then we have herbiculture, and the young ones, for us also, they come in class 6. So now all our 6 students, they are getting attached to our ancillary units. Like, we have a farm, we have a bakery. So they are attached there, because they should know what they are growing is what goes into their tummy. So they develop a connect with the soil rather than the gadget that they have. At the same time, digital literacy happens. Each of our class is a smart class. So, and even the computers that we have is highly monitored. They are young. There are a lot of filters that can easily be applied. I'm sure your tech team or the IT team can easily tell you. Filters that is applied to make sure that they do not digress from what they are actually watching. Especially for teachers who are in 11th and 12th. Right now, SWAYAM has started a lot of sessions on all this. I think there are 28 subjects that SWAYAM is giving as a portal. And by the time these children reach 10th, I'm sure they will definitely have one more. I mean, it will start off on 9th and 10th as well. These are in 9th. So the ones you're going to register right now for your CBSE, my humble request, please have a 6th subject for them. So that it is not just the 5 academics, and let the 6th one be a skill-based subject. Now, depending on the wherewithal of the school, you can choose between physical education, because that is already there as a part of the training, makes it easier for them. Or you can take up art or painting, that is also another subject that it offers. Or you can take up gardening, which is there. The reason why these skill subjects are important is because I'm sure COVID has been a big eye-opener. The ones who knew how to do basic cooking survived, especially the ones who are alone. The ones who knew basic life skills survived, the ones who could wash their own clothes and all. At least those are things which these children are learning right now. But few other skills will help them, because even if they join the armed forces, we all have our hobbies. You need to de-stress somewhere, whichever profession they are in. So for us in Bijapur, not just Bijapur, but all the FO schools also that I've been in, it is mandatory that there is a skill subject right from class 6 onwards. In fact, FO schools start from LKG and now nursery started off, the skill starts from there. So these children, life skills, certain skills are being taught as a part of their grooming, getting up on time and all those things. But as a subject, it is very important that they know what financial literacy is in terms of not clicking a link which appears to be coming from a bank or things like that. Like our cadets, they have their own pocket money, they operate that. We send them to the bank is there in our own campus. So they handle their finances, that amount what is given to them, that gives them that sense of responsibility. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. The accounting is done by the housemaster and the house superintendent because all sudden on their children. So they need to manage, and plus they are well aware of the families that these children come from. So I would suggest that in their academic curriculum, you need to add skill subjects so that it makes them hands-on with an activity or a task that can convert into a hobby or that can, make them feel better. Like for example, the present mantra says that you should know 4 things. One skill should be a hobby, one skill should have that capability to give you, generate income for you. One skill is to de-stress and one skill is what you're going to transfer to the others, teach others. So these are the things, and with this young generation whose attention span is growing smaller and smaller, the more skills you have, the more easier it becomes. Plus, this is a generation where 3 concepts will come in very, very handy. One is multiple intelligence, differentiated instruction and universal design for learning. If a teacher is able to appeal to the multiple, or if a teacher is able to include multiple intelligences for differentiated instructions through a universal design of learning in her classroom or his classroom, that class will be one of the most interesting classrooms ever. So if that is done, I think you all are sorted out. Welcome. Anything else? Anything? Boys? Male cadets? Your counterparts out in the civil school don't have this tag cadet, okay? So the word cadet being added to your name implies that you have been wholeheartedly accepted and the armed forces are ready to welcome you to their clan. And if not the armed forces, then join a profession where you will do something positive and constructive for the society. Okay, anybody, anything else? One last time. None? Okay. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity to address these young, vibrant minds. Because trust you me, when we speak with young brains like yours, we also feel younger. And it is an amazing school, trust you me, because the kind of infrastructure that you have, the kind of surroundings that you have, a lot of schools do not have even these facilities in them. So you are in safe hands. The only thing that is required from you as a student is do your duty and responsibility. What is that? To study, to decide what you want to become and work towards that, because that is what is very, very important. Right? So to sum up, in the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb-driven cattle. Be a hero in the strife. No matter what happens, make sure that you prep yourself up, do well, so that when you come back to the school years later, you feel very, very proud that you studied here. This is your alma mater. And most importantly, when you come back, Your subordinates are not going to say, oh God, these guys have come back again. In fact, they should be happy and proud that these are our seniors, our pioneers who led the way, who shaped the future of the school and who made us want to be who we are right now. So with this, all the very best, dear cadets and dear educators. I'm sure there will be another opportunity where I will be meeting you in person and separately speaking. But trust you me, these children look up to you at every point of time, and I am sure that you will leave no stone unturned to make sure that they become somebody in life. Okay, you have a question? Huh.
Ma'am, did you thought that you can become our group captain?
Okay, did I think I ever want to become a group captain? See, when you join the armed forces, no, there is a verse in Gita, okay, Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That means you keep doing your karma. Phal ki chinta mat karo. So काम करते चलो. Same way, like sir would never have thought sir would ever become a brigadier, right? Sir kept doing his task and things kept coming his way. So similarly, in the armed forces, we do not work for our next rank. It is not a rank-based appointment. It is an assignment wherein which we look ahead. We want to do something constructive for whichever posting that we are in. Okay, so that is it. So dear educators, to come back, you are having the most important responsibility, and if at any point of time as mentor school we can pitch in, we definitely will. On behalf of team Sainik School Bijapur, I assure you that whatever support you need, whether it is faculty development, because there may be qualities that you have which my teachers may not have. Similarly, it can be vice versa as well. So, it is not always possible also that we physically come here or you physically come to our campus. But then, as ma'am said, no, we have technology, right? We can use that and get connected to each other. That is already in the pipeline. We were speaking, sir and I. So that is already in the pipeline, wherein which my academic team and you all will get connected so that any issues that you face in your academic journey can easily be supported by our team as well. It's because learning is always mutual and everybody has got qualities in them which can be imbibed by the others. So I am sure that we will learn together, work together and ensure together that cadets of both this school and our school do well in life. So that when they grow up, they will always remember not just one teacher, they will remember each and every one of you. Right? So with this, thank you so much. And once again, you have to repeat those two magic words, okay? Jai Hind! Jai Hind! Thank you.
I'll keep now only.
Thank you very much, Group Captain Ma'am, for a very inspiring, motivating and enlightening talk and a great interaction with our cadets and the teachers. Ma'am is very well read and she has a vast domain of knowledge which is very rare. So you had the opportunity, she has so much knowledge she can talk on any subject on the earth. So that's why I was looking for more questions. But anyway, ma'am is there to mentor us. She has just joined Sainik School Bijapur. So we'll be having many more interactions with the knowledge and wisdom which she can transfer to this great school. And madam rightly said, it was only to pep you up, to beat other schools, the main thing is you have to compete with yourself. That is the hallmark of life. You don't have to win a gold medal. You have to do your best. So you have to compete with yourself every day. I come from a very big multinational. They have a quote. It says, better every day. Better every day is the motto. You can Google JSW Steel, where I was heading a very senior appointment. I'll just summarize a few things, because just to recollect, you're all children, what ma'am said, because there is so much to learn from ma'am. Now that you're all digital generation. Audible?
Yeah,
No problem?
data city. Problem.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, we're a new school, we'll be getting more, better equipment later. Digital generation, it's a vast opportunity you have today. I just keep giving you example. When I was a kid like you in Madam's Sainik School, Bijapur, it's almost 5 decades. It is compulsory to write a letter on Wednesday. I don't know if it has changed. Yeah, we were given a postcard those days. It costed 5 paise, if I remember right. 5 paise. It was a small, simple postcard. It was compulsory. The housemasters made us write, and the letter was taken by them. It was posted by them. And I think my parents those days lived about 80 kilometers from the school. And the letter took almost 8 to 10 days to reach the parents. So by the time the parents received my letter, I was already writing my next letter. So the world has changed. It's a digital generation. You are in real time, and you are all fortunate. I think just in the first week, all of you have spoken to your parents. Are you happy with the phones? Yes. Yeah. So we have just installed 12 telephones, 24/7 in the boys' hostel, 2 telephones in the girls' hostel. They have been given a electronic card. They can talk to their parents anytime. So we are a great lucky generation. My parents were feeling very happy that after 10 days they heard some news about me. So today it is all fantastic new world. So you're all lucky to be in that. And another very, very important man mentioned is, it's not just to join defense or any other organization. You will definitely join many organizations. Most of you will head big organizations in every field. But most important, grooming here is to groom you, prepare you for the life. The life journey, wherever you go, whatever you do, this is the grounding where you'll be prepared for that challenging life and career anywhere in the world. One quote ma'am again mentioned, the more you sweat in peace, anybody can complete that sentence? The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. You're right. So you have to be prepared. You prepare for example, exam, you prepare many days. Similarly, any task, whether it is war or any task, it needs tremendous amount of efforts, hard work and preparation. That's when the success may still not be given, but that has a fair chance. So you have to put your best efforts. So, and just adding to that is another quote, as the going gets tough, what happens? As the going gets tough, the tough gets going. You're right. So you have to be prepared and keep going, and definitely you will make a breakthrough. And of course, ma'am has touched upon so many aspects. Perhaps because of paucity of time, we could not cover many more things. And yes, Maverick, again, a very, very critical development, honesty, integrity and loyalty. Honesty, integrity and loyalty, they are required in every good leader. Madam also touched upon the operations of Vijay, of Safed Sagar, of Talwar, but nobody came out what is of Meghdut. Anyone still aware what is of Meghdut? I think ma'am asked, nobody raised their hand because the of Meghdut started in which year? Say again. Yeah, give the mic to her.
1984.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic. So perhaps maybe your parents were just born those days. Okay, you're totally 2 generations behind. 1984, it was a race to capture Siachen ice and glacier heights of India. I'll take a minute. I was doing expeditions in that area in 1984. I was a second lieutenant, that rank has been scrapped now, I had just been commissioned. I was a member of an expedition to explore those areas where there was no record of human beings going there in the records of history. It was just to lay claim to that very important strategic areas of India. And as we were just returning, you can see that some of you will join. There is a place called Susuma. There is a base camp, there is a Siachen. It is so tough. The normal man may not be able to go and stay even for 24 hours. That is the challenge. And every army or air force supports them at all levels. Jawans are trained and live in those icy heights of 18 to 22,000 feet. Round the year it is -30, -40. I just can't imagine. It is so tremendous. They live for 90 days and then they are turned over. So that is the challenges you will all be also put through when you join defense services, whether you are supporting those army formations or whatever. So I was lucky. I was there even before the Op Meghdut. When it started in 1984, the infantry, air force, they were all inducted to conduct Siachen operation. One of the most keenly contested strategic, region on the planet that is still being fought. It was so expensive to maintain these, logistics. I was told those days the eggs used to cost some few paise, 20. It came in the India today. By the time the egg is eaten by the Jawan who sits on Siachen, it would cost somewhere in the range of 400 times. Egg costing maybe 50 paise those days would cost the government of India about 180 to 200 rupees. Because it goes through multiple logistics, through the aircraft, through the helicopters, through the airdrops, many things are lost. So it is challenging. I think I'll try. I've got my friends, juniors working there, brigade commanders and GOCs, general officer commanding. We'll see if we can send some of you to visit those areas. Yeah, nobody is aware of Mirage 2000, Rafale, Sukhoi. Have you heard these names? Huh? You heard. So you must read. Okay. It's not just fighting. You've got to have tremendous amount of knowledge. I hope I'm correct. Mirage and Rafale should be French. Yes, I'm not from the Air Force, so I'm still confirming from the madam because they have a huge inventory. It's difficult to know. Like I'm from engineers, my own counterparts in the army, I would not know. It is a massive amount of weapons, ammunition, logistics, and inventory. Rafale and Mirage are one of the best frontline fighters in the world today. They are from the France. So you must read about them. And where is Sukhoi from? Sukhoi. The latest Sukhoi, I think you can see them on TVs. I was lucky, I was there in the air show in Bangalore with the Air Force. It is referred also as the Beast. It is so powerful, it can destroy any stronghold of the enemy. Sukhoi, that is the Russian aircraft, which is also part of the Air Force arsenal. Yeah, I put in 36 years of service. I am standing here, 36 plus another 8, 44 years. I did not know that the air chief was part of the operation. Very rare. I mean, that is the greatness of this great country. I was already a senior officer. I was in Delhi those days. We were all prepared to go wherever there is a problem. but Kargil was a very limited area conflict. But that is dedication. The airhead, the air chief, is one of the most prestigious and powerful air force in the world. The air chief leads the front. That is what the leadership is expected. The junior leadership is the one which leads. So that's tremendous. And look at the amount of I didn't know. My friends have been commanding officers in that Kargil Heights. Joshi, then Kal Ravindra, they're my postmates and friends. But none of us, we discussed so many things, we never knew this. That's greatness of this great defense forces. An air chief getting into the cockpit and doing what a young officer does, so the entire defense forces would be thrilled and inspired. So that is leadership. That is great leadership. That's very interesting. बद्दू राम का बदन जमीन के नीचे है, हमको उसका खाना मिलता है. How many have heard about this? Okay, just Google. There is it's Assam regiment. Yeah, Assam regiment. Okay. I was also, excited when I heard this first time. It's really, really passionate. Something which can inspire a dead man to come alive and fight for the country. The wordings go simple. बद्दू राम का बदन जमीन के नीचे है, हमको उसका खाना मिलता है. Please Google, Atul, put it on the video and you can show it to them on Saturday. It's a very simple thing. I'll take a minute because Madam mentioned, but I thought she would have gone further, but due to paucity of time, I have not read the whole thing. In a war-like situation, Badlu Ram was a Jawan. Okay? So in the war, the rations are given by the supporting formations because army fights only when they're fed well. So rations used to come to that company, the rations used to be drawn and people were fed. So after a month of the war, I don't know whether it is related. 1962. Yeah, 1962. You are more correct. I am not. So over a period of month or two, the quartermaster, who is the quartermaster here? He deals with the khana, pina, rations and all. And they say army marches on stomach. It is true. So after a month or two, they found there was surplus rations in the store. There were more rations. And suddenly I think this company got cut off or something. Some logistics problem occurred. So everybody was scared. So they would have died of hunger. And suddenly they realized Badlu Ram ka ration pada hai. Nobody has eaten. And the war situation was so chaotic, so dangerous. Badlu Ram had already died in the operation. He was a Jawan. He had died in the operation and the rations got accumulated in his name. Those rations gave that, it came as a God's gift and blessing. That entire company survived on Badlu Ram's rations and they fought and they won in those areas. It's a very small story, but look at today it has become a very, very spirited regimental song. Google it, it is all there. It just goes simply, Badlu Ram ka badan जमीन के नीचे, he is already dead and gone. हमको उसका खाना मिलता है. उसका खाने से that entire company of 100 odd soldiers, they survived, they won, they lived after. So that is the saga. These are real life stories. It's very, very, it's also very courageous, interesting, hilarious, all at the same time. Ma'am has covered the salute significance. I think that we'll leave it at that. Field Marshal Manekshaw is a legend all his life. So everything that he touched or did was something extraordinary. Yeah, hobbies, Madam has covered, so that is something which you must develop in addition to your main academic and all those issues. And I'll end this vote of thanks to Group Captain Madam, coming all the way from Sainik School, Bijapur. We will constantly seek your advice, your staff support to us, because we are a fledgling school. We have a long, long way to go. It is only to pep you up that you will beat. It is not easy to beat. They are so great schools. They have already produced vice chiefs, naval chiefs, corporate heads. The next naval chief is going to be from Sainik School, Bijapur. they worked 60 years to reach there. So, notwithstanding anything coming in the way, you will also reach there. You all need to put lot of hard work. I'll just end my vote of thanks with a simple quote. He sent me in my morning WhatsApp. It says, the mind is everything. What it says, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Whose quote is that? Anyone? Yeah, please. Yes. Absolutely right. What's your name? Yeah, fantastic. You just joined, I think, today. Fantastic. So we have a cadet who has joined us yesterday. He is almost 6'2", 6'3". What is your height? 6 feet 1 inch. So he will be the basketball captain. He plays football, so he will be the football captain, and he will be the Amitabh Bachchan of our school. Okay? Thank you. Welcome. Okay. Gautam Buddha, the great, soul who, changed the course of the world. That is a quote from him. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. So you have a lot of opportunity to think positively and become what you want to be. On behalf of the cadets, the teachers, all the staff, we once again thank you, madam, for this very, very interesting and, with the children, so much of interaction. I'm sure they're all inspired and will keep looking to you and Sainik School Bijapur for future guidance and directions. Thank you very much. As madam said, we'll end it with a Jai Hind. Okay? Say again. Jai Hind. Okay, we'll repeat. I know. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Okay. Thank you very much. The cadets can move on to their classes. The teachers, I would request them to stay here for an interaction with the principal of Sainik School Bijapur. Thank you. Thank you very much. For love and respect to the chief guest today, I will request her to kindly accept a small memento, and it is so emotionally, spirited memento. We are still to create a memento, but she will be very happy. These are books written by her school children. One is by Dr. Ashok Dalwai and another one is by Mr. Rangnath. They are authors. You will find any field, Sainik School Bijapur is shining across the world, not just in India. I request ma'am to just kindly accept this small gift as a token of our love and respect. Thank you. Please come. Just 2 more minutes.
No.
Yeah, teachers, please hold on. Chidanand. Yes, sir.